we're getting into the game of not just trading power, but also investing in the value chain of power trading. So instead of just looking at supply and demand side, we're actually getting involved in building the infrastructure that transmits the electricity. So, Mwelwa, I'm happy to say we are the developers of a very exciting project. This is, we're calling it the Kalumbila-Kolwezi Interconnector Project, which will link Zambia to the DRC.
Hi, welcome to the Indaba. My name is Lisha Kufekisa and I work for Enterprise Power as the Community Social and Stakeholder Manager. Well, it's been our first and exciting experience to be at the mining Indaba of 2025. As Enterprise Power, we are constructing a power line that's almost 190 kilometers from Kalumbila-Kolwezi. And the exciting part about this project is that we've ensured to be part of a community. We've integrated ourselves into the community and therefore working side by side in ensuring that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is giving back to their valuable communities. We are transversing through 3 chiefdoms, and in these 3 chiefdoms as Enterprise Power, we've ensured to give back through various community activities such as education and health, as well as environmental management. As part of our E&As, we've ensured that one way or the other, the impact of our project is minimized. We've ensured that everything that we've done, especially when it comes to environmental and social activities, are according to the rules and guidelines of the World Bank standards. Now, talking about that, moving forward, we're excited that the groundbreaking ceremony is coming up. All our stakeholders are completely on board, which is very exciting usually. I mean, having everybody excited about a project is always very, very exciting. And as a community liaison officer, we are working closely with every community that we are transversing through, ensuring that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is giving back in one way or the other.
Hello everyone, it's Mwelwa again, and we are on day 3 of the Investing in Mining in Africa, Indaba, and I'm currently now at the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 stand where I'm about to have a very interesting conversation with Lisha from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Lisha, how are you?
I'm good, how are you, Mwelwa? And I hope you're okay.
I'm doing great, and it's always nice to come and visit the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 stand, but this is the first time that you're on our platform. Are you able to tell us about yourself and what your role is at 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏?
Okay, my name is Lisha, like you mentioned, and my role is I am the community and social stakeholder engagement personnel.
Right, fantastic. But anyway, we know that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has been impacting communities. Are you able to tell us a little bit about what your activities have been and what people can expect, especially in this 2025?
In 2025 is a very exciting year for us. We're officially groundbreaking. We're starting the construction of a power line. The power line transverses through 3 chiefdoms, and one of the activities that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is involved in is ensuring one way or the other to give back to their communities, impact the communities in a positive way. After conducting our social and environmental exercise, we did a social needs assessment, and from there we were able to identify which areas as 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 we can help to upgrade these various communities.
Absolutely, but we also know that you guys have done extensive work in other communities. Are you able to share a bit more about that?
Yeah, so as the project is finally groundbreaking this year, what we've done so far is prepare most of the communities, and we've started preparing for issues like giving them access to clean water, and as of second or third quarter we will then start constructions of issues like boarding houses. So each community will have a boarding house at their preferred or identified boarding school. So we'll construct a boarding house which can house about between 60 to 100 students, and also construct an ablution block, sink a borehole, give access to solar power if they are far from the grid. So that way at least students can still be able to study and have access to electricity. Yeah. Okay,
fantastic. No, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and we're definitely looking forward to hearing more about the coming events.
We are super excited as the groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for the month of March. And once that starts, it means lots of positive activities in the community, hundreds of thousands of people getting jobs, automatically jobs means a better economic performance in the environment. So it's a good thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you for coming through.
Hello everybody, it's Mwelwa again on day 3 of Investing in African Mining in Indaba, and I'm about to have a very interesting conversation with an old friend of Financial Insight, Mr. Bydon Longwe. Bydon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mwelwa?
I'm doing great. It's been quite a while since we last engaged.
Yeah, I think it's now been over a year. I think the last time I saw you at my office at FNB. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But since that time, Mr. Bydon has obviously evolved, if I can call it that, to FirstRand Group, which is the parent company of FNB Zambia. But so before we get into the conversation, maybe Bydon, for our viewers, you can just share with them what your current role is at FirstRand Group.
Okay, so first of all, I haven't evolved. I'm still the Bydon that you know. But I think in terms of my role, I look at this as just an extension of what I was doing in Zambia, but maybe on a broader basis, looking at more countries. So how we're structured at FirstRand, we run FirstRand as portfolios, right? So there's South Africa, which is on its own, and then we have a portfolio of subsidiaries in Africa, which we aptly call Broader Africa. And we do have 8 countries, and Zambia is one. We're present in Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho, Eswatini, in Ghana, Nigeria, and also Zambia. So I basically look at the 8 countries, but it's more for consolidation of performance into the group. Mm-hmm. So there's one source of truth out of the 8. So we consolidate the 8, and then we have that in the FirstRand, financial performance. But also, I think what's key is my job is to support the CEOs to deliver, our vision in Africa, and really our vision is to have well-run subsidiaries and managed by local management. Mm-hmm. Who really are the ones that are responsible for the risk profile of the country, but also they're accountable. So I'm like the support act, to make sure that 𝗙𝗶𝗴𝗶 in Zambia, performs. If there's a requirement for capital, I'm the go-to person. If there's a requirement for system support, so it's really an extension of what I was doing in Zambia, but on a broader scale.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So now, obviously we've connected at Mining Indaba. It is day 3. You've had an opportunity to be through some of the panel discussions, etc. But maybe just for our viewers, are you able to share with us, why obviously FirstRand Group would participate in Mining Indaba?
I think for me, maybe not FirstRand, personally. I like attending such fora because this is where you learn. Normally when you have maybe CEOs in banking, Indabas or financial institution Indabas, there you kind of go there and try to show maybe how smart you are by talking about, what you're comfortable in. When I come to Indabas like this, I come to learn. So I come with a blank sheet of paper and I follow the discussions that are happening, because that helps me to understand where the flows will be happening, to understand, just the transformation of the resources envelope, in Africa. So personally, that's very important. But from a FirstRand point, I think when you look at our subsidiaries, if not all, we do have an interest in resources. So we have to understand, the value chain. We have to understand the new trends in mining, so that we're able then to finance or help with what we're good at in terms of financing some of these projects. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, just yesterday on day 2, you witnessed what was a fully packed, Zambian country focus, session. Are you able to just give us some key takeaways from that particular session?
Very impressive. And Mwelwa, we were just discussing before we came on air, how in that auditorium, before there was a certain country I won't name, but the chairs were practically empty. But when Zambia came in, when the minister and the team, came through, the whole room was filled up. There were no seats. I mean, other people were sitting outside. It just shows the interest that people have, in Zambia, especially the story that is coming out, from a mining perspective. I think that just showed. But I think my takeaway was just how first the Minister of Minerals, Honorable 𝗭𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗶, just sold the country to the investors. And I would like us to hear more of that, because what basically he pointed out is that Zambia is open for investment. But also what's key is the emphasis on it has to be a win-win situation. Win for the Zambian citizens, but also win, for the investors. And that is really what, we're hoping to support at FirstRand broadly, but also as FNB Zambia, to support Zambia as a country to thrive. Much as our interest may be seen as, to make earnings or to make, or to generate returns for shareholders. But I think the key thing is around shared prosperity. How do we help society whilst we're generating profits? And that message was quite loud and clear, and I was quite interested also to hear, I think, what the chairman of 𝗙𝗂𝘁𝗲𝗄𝗆 said. And I'm always interesting. I mean, it's always interesting to hear from 𝗙𝗂𝘁𝗲𝗄𝗆, because that really is where a lot of us kind of cut our teeth. 𝗙𝗂𝘁𝗲𝗄𝗆 was a big sponsor of students, then accountants students, mining students, engineers, and would like to see 𝗙𝗂𝘁𝗲𝗄𝗆 participate more in this endowment of minerals that we have. And the chair was quite. I think he was very optimistic that they will be contributing about 10%, to the 3 million target that the president has set by 2030 or 2031. So that for me was also eye-catching. And the other piece is what my colleague Mukwandi shared in terms of the fact that as a banking sector, as an industry, we do have affordable financing to support mining. And I think it's really up to the mining houses to approach us. We can do funding of these big projects, especially from a syndication point, where 3 or 4 banks come together, to finance these multi-year projects where you require $1 billion, over a period of 5 years or so.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for sharing your perspectives. Going forward, in terms of with some of the interactions that you've had, what would you say is what are you optimistic about, especially post mining Indaba, from what you've observed so far, what you've heard from conversations as well?
I think, Mwelwa, what also came out, and that also excites me, is that both government and private sector are quite aligned in terms of how we take care of communities where we extract minerals, and also the fact that there's also a lot of emphasis on green and clean energy, in terms of mining, the recognition that we need to reduce emission in this industry. So that's quite exciting, and that's aligned to how we would like to support businesses as FirstRand. So I'm looking forward to that. But also just beyond Zambia, I think there's a lot of focus in terms of those critical minerals and how you define critical minerals for your country. And this has to be determined at country level, so that we look at how those minerals can help society that we live in, rather than it being top down. But rather what we would like to see is countries determining their own destiny, if it were to be mentioned like that. Yeah,
absolutely. No, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, and we look forward to obviously engage with you later on.
Thank you so much, Mwelwa, and really looking forward to some of the actualization of a lot of conversations that have happened, because there's been a lot of talk. Now we would like to see execution. We would like to see execution today for prosperity tomorrow, and I understand that really is our tagline in Zambia, to make sure that we deliver today.
Absolutely.
For future's prosperity, or for prosperity tomorrow. And also maybe to just thank you, the work that you're doing as financial insight into the market. I was just chatting with you that we need more of people like you, where financial institutions, but also those that want to understand finances, can look to. certain podcasts that educational from a financial point of view. We need more of that, financial intelligentsia in the market, and kudos to you for doing that for the market. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much, Bydon. Thank you so much for those
Really
words. So there you have it. We've just been speaking to Mr. Bydon Longwe from FirstRand Group. So stay tuned for more insights from the FirstRand as well as the FNB Zambia team at Mining Indaba 2025. I've been your host, Mwelwa Kenneth Chibesakunda. Get to know.
Thank you.
Welcome back. So as I'd indicated earlier, I'm about to have a conversation with Sam. Sam, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely, and it's such a pleasure to finally meet with you in Cape Town, South Africa at the 2025 Investing in Mining Indaba. So just before we get into it, Financial Insight has got this tradition where we always ask our guests to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves and their background.
Sure. Okay. Well, my name is Sam Hossack. I'm the Managing Director of Prospect Resources. Prospect Resources is a very African company. We are listed on the Australian Stock Exchange, and we do have some Australian roots, but we're primarily an African business with African personnel targeting African projects. And we've got a deep history operating in the region. We have successfully operated the 𝗥𝗶𝗶𝗴 lithium mine in Zimbabwe from discovery all the way through to the transaction to 𝗭𝗶ℎ𝗵𝗴. So we're very familiar with the region, and this is where our focus is and our competitive advantage.
Absolutely, and obviously we're still a bit curious about your background and how you found yourself in the role at Prospect.
Okay, well, I'll probably go back one step. My wife is actually a Zambian, so I've been in Zambia for a long time, and in 2003 I drove through Zambia with her and ended up at a braai or a barbecue with a First Quantum team, where ultimately I got persuaded as a junior graduate engineer to throw my CV into the ring. And I joined First Quantum Minerals at that time in 2005 and had a 15-year career with them, mostly in Zambia and Congo. So I love Zambia, I know it very well. And after finishing up with First Quantum Minerals in 2018, I took the role as Managing Director at Prospect Resources to bring some of that experience that First Quantum has, which is that sort of strong drive to take something from nothing, do it yourself, don't rely too heavily on people flying in to help you because we're in a remote part of Africa. We needed that strong desire to build something in Zimbabwe, and that brought huge traction to the 𝗥𝗶𝗶𝗴 lithium mine. And so that's a little bit about sort of how I joined Prospect and what I like to bring to the company.
Absolutely, no, that's very, very interesting. And I like the fact that you mentioned bringing something, from nothing into something. Are you able to just share with us, about the project, the flagship project that you're pursuing in Zambia?
Sure, thank you. So our flagship project is the 𝗭𝗶ℶ𝗵𝗄 copper project up in the northwest of Zambia, the northwest province. So if I just go back a bit, I'll also like to explain that in 2022, Prospect successfully sold. If I go back to 2022, Prospect successfully sold the 𝗥𝗶𝗴 lithium mine on a 100% basis for $422 million. Right. And that mine, acquired by 𝗭𝗶ℵ𝗵𝗴, is now the largest lithium mine in Africa.
Right.
They continued to invest into that mine. They spent, I think, around $400 million building it, and they're currently building a lithium sulfate plant.
Okay. So
that really put them on the map in Africa. And as a result of the success and the role we played in that, the Zambian Presidential Delivery Unit attended to that site to come and understand, what is lithium and how have they done this? And as a result, Prospect Resources got invited to Zambia to present our credentials. As you have learned, Zambia is not a new area for us, but it really got us focusing on copper, the long-term thematic, how to leverage the experience that myself and others have in copper and building things from nothing to operational plants. And we looked at a large number of projects, and we were very focused on finding something near surface, quite advanced in terms of the exploration, and something that we felt confident could lead to a mine being opened. And that led us to the 𝗭𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗄 copper project, which we acquired in May 2024, which we acquired in May 2024. And we've now completed 10,000 meters of drilling, which has been our maiden program, but it's built on 12 years of experience that the previous owners had. So we're really accelerating what we're doing at 𝗭𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗄, and very excited about it.
Right. Now, we've obviously been following, the work that you guys are doing. What really excites you about this particular project? Because we know that, it's a very remote part of Zambia, but there's also communities around there.
Well, firstly, Prospect Resources and its shareholders, our objective is to have a tier 1 asset. We've proven our abilities in Zimbabwe with what is now the largest lithium mine in Africa. We are on the map. We have the abilities. Where we are operating and drilling in the northwest of Zambia, it's a very socially undeveloped part of Zambia. There's a huge opportunity there, not only to positively impact the economy through the production of copper, but to uplift that community. So we've been very well received by the communities and the chiefs in that area. There's a number of chiefs, but one principal chief. And the ability to work together has really been outstanding. It's shown exactly how strong community support really can be. So we've been very, very impressed and proud of that.
Right, absolutely. So obviously we're in Cape Town, mining in Indaba. You've come with your export team. You're on panel discussions. Are you able to just share with us, what your main agenda for attending this event is, and then also maybe just give our viewers some insights in terms of some of the panel discussions that you yourself are going to be involved in?
Yeah, thank you. Indaba and 121, they sort of go together, and they hosted in the same week here in Cape Town. They're a critical part of our engagement with stakeholders and investors. We obviously have big delegations from Zambia, presidential, often delegations from other countries, and it's a confluence of stakeholders, communities, investors, developers, and industry operators, service providers. So it's really the place to be every year, and it's important for Prospect to put forward its best update on what we've done. And we've done a lot since we were here last year. We've acquired 𝗭𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗄. We've had a 10,000 meter drill program. We've had some fantastic intercepts, and we feel we are onto a tier 1 asset. So coming to Indaba and 121 allows us to share our progress, to talk about what our next steps are, and to engage the community, the spectrum of community and stakeholders.
Right,
all in one place.
Absolutely. I think obviously no better place than mining in Indaba for such critical, stakeholder engagement. Hopefully, maybe if you could just share with us on a final note, like what you're hoping, beyond this, what the outlook is going to be looking like, especially on the 𝗭𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗄 project, and are there any key announcements that we might need to look out for?
Yeah, look, we have such an exciting event schedule ahead. So the company has been extremely busy in the background, so we've been drilling, we've been doing some metallurgical work, really important to bring those two together.
Absolutely.
We've managed to successfully apply for mining licenses over our tenement, and to do that, we've been in a really strong position to apply for and receive the environmental permits, and to put forward the economic case study and economic outputs of our 𝗭𝗎𝗄 deposit. And so that's under application. We're looking forward to hearing back on that within this quarter. We're looking forward to summarizing the 10,000 meters of drilling we've done and how that is going to inform a maiden resource estimate. That's going to quantify the scale of our initial work. But we're also very excited to put an exploration permit alongside that maiden resource estimate. Because this really is a significantly large tier 1 potential project. And so drilling it is going to be a continuum for quite some time. Yeah, it's got massive opportunity and scale, but we got to keep going and prove it up. And on either side of us, we've got these mega projects that, again, had exactly the same hallmarks that we're experiencing. They started small, they got drilled out, they've been mined, they've found more and more copper mineralization. So I think we're on a journey that has already been walked by others, and we need to communicate that.
Absolutely.
So that it can be clearly understood that we're going to come out with a maiden resource, and then we're going to do more work and upgrade it. But we can definitely say with confidence, we can put a mine there, and that's what our business has been looking for.
Absolutely. No, this is really, really exciting, to hear. I mean, obviously our viewers back in Zambia will be, thrilled to hear about the developments. So, from me and my team at Financial Insight, we just wish you well in your next engagements. I know we will be coming to cover your next panel discussion, so all the best in that.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So this has been Mwelwa Chibesakunda with Sam from Prospect Resources. So stay tuned for insights on all our platforms, on the panel discussions and more interviews from Prospect Resources. Get to know.